G'day everyone, it's me the anti-theocrat back with another one. Someone commented that my videos were a bit short and I'm sorry about that. I actually try not to have my videos more than an hour and I prefer them around the half-hour mark. I'm not someone who can sit through live streams myself where people just ramble for 3 hours. I know that sometimes that's just easy to have in the background, but I can't do it. I can't listen to it, so I can't produce it. So it's going to have to be the short form, and at the moment it's a bit shorter than I might otherwise do because I'm doing one article at a time, and an article only contains so much information I can moan about. I guess I'm moaning about these things. But yeah, unfortunately I've got so much material on my desk and there is going to be a lot of crossover, but the only way I can really cover this stuff is one article at a time. So, onward. What is the article? Okay, from Forbes. What do countries with the best coronavirus response have in common? Women leaders. Apparently this is in careers. I don't know why this is in careers. I guess, promote women going up the chain. I don't know. But in any case, we are given these examples: Germany, Taiwan, New Zealand, Iceland, Finland, Norway, and Denmark. Now, Germany is a key contributor to the EU and very, very pro-open borders. Germany is one of the countries that promoted the idea that it would be racist and wrong to close borders, and they came to it very late. Although they were one of the first EU states to jump on board, they had pushed for as long as they could on the idea that they didn't want to. New Zealand, same problem with their Prime Minister. Now, she was almost in tears when she had to announce the border close. Mind, that woman's face always looks like it's about to fall off. She always looks fucking dreary. She's got the longest, saddest looking horse face I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen some sad looking horses. Iceland, Finland, Norway, and Denmark. It strikes me as odd that the only openly feminist government in the world, the Swedish government, is not represented here. It also strikes me that Germany is represented here, yet the EU, which also has a female head, is not represented here. Are these countries signs of, are these leaderships signs of absolute failure by women? I would say that the EU definitely is. I do not see the EU surviving beyond this pandemic. As to Sweden, well, if it doesn't get itself grenaded out of existence, then it probably will get itself pandemicked out of existence. There just seems to be some lack in control over there. So I'm going to go on and read the article now, and I know I'm going to stop shortly. Looking for examples of true leadership in a crisis, from Iceland to Taiwan, from Germany to New Zealand, women are stepping up to show the world how to manage a messy patch for our human family. Add in Finland, Iceland, Denmark, and this pandemic is revealing that women have what it takes when the heat rises in our house of state. All this tells me about women in leadership is that when there is an excuse to shut people down, to be the ruling bitch-faced mongrel at the top of the chain, they rise to that occasion very well. That's basically what this is telling me, this little bit of text, that when you want to lock people down, when you want a police state, women can do it the best. I didn't see these women doing anything else the best before this. So the best that they can do is shut us all down. I should go back up here because there is one state here that I do recognise as having done a really good job, and that's Taiwan. I didn't know Taiwan had a female leader. There you go. But if they do, then Taiwan did a good job here, and it's probably not because of strong female leadership, more because of Taiwan's natural mistrust of China. which is extremely powerful, and had them shut their borders down to the Chinese before the World Health Organization was even blinking in the direction of China. Many will say that these are small countries or islands or other exceptions, but Germany is large. Germany is fucking small. Look, I live in Australia, and this article will have been written from America. Germany, by comparison to our nations, is small. It is a blip. Essentially, the state of New South Wales that I live in, Germany could probably slide into it. Or islands or other, but Germany is large and leading. No. And the UK is an island with a very different outcome. The UK also has its own problems with its London society, I will say. And I don't think that's like the American case. See, the American case is not a case of the American government, the national level government, not acting and not saying things, but more that the Democrats were encouraging, individual Democrats, in particular one who was running for president, was encouraging people to go to Chinatown and hug Chinese people. And that the New York mayor, and New York is the hotspot, was encouraging people not to close down and not to be racist and not to be just seemingly to be contrary to the orange man who is so bad. So I don't think we can count these countries and their different infection rates as necessarily being a clear-cut view of how the leadership is running. I think Germany, the Germans, like the Australians, are just very good at shutting ourselves in and staying home. We're very good at saying, right, we don't want this fucking thing here, we're going to do whatever it takes to get it out. And that's got nothing to do with the government. We were doing that here in Australia before the government declared it. Largely, most of us. So yes, I think the United States has a different problem with people not wanting to shut in and not wanting to be dictated to the government, and certain levels of the government thinking that being contrary to the orange man is just, what you have to do. Anyway, these leaders are gifting us an alternative what way of wielding power, and they are teaching us. Are they? All I've learned from Horseface from New Zealand is how to cry, and all I've learned from Bitchface from Germany is that if you wait too long, things turn to shit. Truth. Okay, let's see your truth here. Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, Sieg Heil, stood up early, Chancellor of the Fourth Reich, just for the record, stood up early and calmly told her countrymen that it was a serious bug and it would infect up to 70% of the population. So she is saying, let's not worry about it too much, let's try to keep it down to 70%. Now, I remember a lot of criticism for Donald Trump saying something very similar, that what we needed to do was, this thing was going to be something that was going to be with us for a long time. What we needed to work on was creating a herd immunity without too many losses. How is this different? How is this Angela Merkel making some original positive statement, but when it's Orange Man, this is bad? Anyway, I just wanted to say, I don't think I could sit in a room with Donald Trump and enjoy his company for more than half an hour. I just don't think he's that sort of person that I could take for that long. I don't know. Maybe he's a much nicer guy than I even get the perception of. But I get the idea that he's a man of business and he knows how to get to the heart of a matter and do the job that's required. I see that often. Whether I like the man personally or not, I see a man who knows business. And I think that's a good thing. I think especially when you're running a country, the business of managing the country is more important than who you make feel good or bad about themselves. So yes, I'm not his biggest fan, but I recognise a man doing a good job. when that job requires a good man to be doing it. Okay, so testing began right from the get-go. Oh yeah. Germany jumped right over the phase of denial, anger, and disingenuousness we've seen elsewhere. Sorry, Germany kept its borders open for a fucking long time after Italy was already massively infected. Because it was an EU member state, and we couldn't close people off, could we? If this was done as fast as you are claiming, there should have been no spread out of Italy. A few Chinese people who managed to fly in the time the Chinese were still letting people fly. But seriously, this should have been shut down in Italy. It should not have been allowed to go EU-wide. This is a false claim. Especially with Merkel being such a proclaimant for open borders and free travel, such a supporter of the EU, the Fourth Reich. The country's numbers are far below its European neighbours, and there are signs that they may be able to start loosening restrictions relatively soon. Yes, it's below their European neighbours, because I would love to bet on which European neighbours are better though, the ones that closed their borders sooner, because there were male leaders of European nations in the EU who closed their borders a damn sight faster. But let's not put them in this equation, shall we? That might fuck up your narrative. Germany kept its borders open for a long time. It was the first Central European country to close its borders, regardless of the fact it had been selling the idea of open borders in the EU for so fucking long. This is just an outright fucking lie. This is ignoring the countries that had shut their borders. This is ignoring the fact that other countries have done better, just to boost Merkel up. Alright, I'm not even going to look at that because it's not worth it. I'm going to move on. Amongst the first and the fastest to move was Taiwan back in January. Yes, exactly. Taiwan's suspicion of China led them to report this to the UN, to the WHO, who ignored it, have ignored the fact that Taiwan proclaims itself to be an independent state, and went on believing what China was telling them. So yes, hats off to Taiwan for its natural suspicion of China, and the fact that it has helped it get through this without being too badly scathed. I have nothing more to add to that because everything about that is dead right. Everything about what Taiwan did is dead right. But you can't put this up as, oh, she's a woman. This is just how Taiwan react to China. They did the same with SARS. Was it a woman leader then? I don't think it was. Jacinda Ardern of New Zealand was early to lockdown. No, she fucking wasn't. She was later than Australia. I remember her going on TV, being on TV as, oh, we're going to have to shut down, looking like that horse face was going to cry again. And crystal clear on the maximum level of alert she was putting the country under. Yes, and she got heavily criticised for not doing it sooner. And why? She imposed self-isolation on people entering New Zealand astonishingly early. Well, yes, after a little wait, but yeah, fair enough. When there were just 6 cases in the whole country. Yeah, because no one fucking goes to New Zealand, right? That's my problem with the other northern European nations mentioned here. Iceland, Finland, Norway, and Denmark. Who the fuck goes there? Right? When the Chinese want to escape China, and I know this, I'm married to a Chinese woman, right? I have Chinese relatives. When the Chinese think, I'm leaving China, they think America first, Europe, Australia. These are sort of the top places on the list. Now, they do go to other places. I know Chinese who have gone to other places, immigrated to other places. I'm not unaware of this. But the top places they go to are not those fucking countries and not fucking New Zealand. They barely know it exists. Shit, I've lived in China and I found people there who don't even know Australia exists. Which isn't surprising. There's Americans who don't. We're imaginary. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, Ardern was heavily criticised on social media and other places for not cracking down earlier. But the fact that she has a small country that not many people are travelling to, I guess. Well, not on the sort of scale. I mean, we Australians travel there, but our infection has been relatively low. Our infection has largely been imported. When we've discovered it here, we've shut it down very quickly. What we've done is we've imported contaminated cases, and this is under investigation, so, you know, this isn't something that happened because it was dictated by our government that we should do this. But we let a cruise ship in. One of the big examples, we let a cruise ship in, and it came in with a massive infection, and that spread. So it was shut down very quickly. Our contamination rate is going down quite rapidly. But it's because of those people, every case more or less that's coming to Australia, there are very few cases being listed as unknown. Most of them are either first-hand import or second-hand from the import. We're not hearing a lot more. Okay, tech. Iceland, under the leadership of, what's her name, is offering free coronavirus testing to all its citizens and will become a key case study in the true spread and fatality rates. Oh yes, I wonder where they're getting their tests from, and I wonder how reliable they are. I have, look, I don't give a flying fuck, okay? There are free coronavirus testing being done everywhere. This is nothing new. This is nothing grand. Nobody's looking to go to bloody Iceland from China. Half a dozen people a year or something. What's your rate of infection? I actually suspect that Italy itself is a poor EU country. Not one of the wealthy ones, let's say that. I get a feeling that they do a lot of dealing with China, and the reason that Italy became so infected is partly because of its religious convictions. Secondly, because a lot of Italians were in China doing business. I don't know for sure. Maybe there's a lot of Chinese taking an interest in Italy as a place to go. But I don't think Italy just got infected because, you know, it happened by accident. So, yeah. Anyway, comparing Iceland to anywhere else is just bollocks. And by the way, the highest testing in the world per capita is still in Australia. Male leader. Just saying. Male leader. Sarah Martin became the world's youngest head of state when she was elected last December in Finland. What does that fucking matter? It took a millennial leader... No, it didn't. Using social media influencers. What? As key agents. Where's Finland? Well, hang on. They didn't produce that video, did they? Fuck, I wish I had that video on tap. The safe space video. I did it a little while ago. Look for that one. I covered that one. Yes, anyway. Woohoo. A millennial leader used social media influencers to get the message out. Love. What? Norway Prime Minister, what's her face, had the innovative idea of using television to talk directly to her country's children. She was building on a short 3-minute press conference that the Prime Minister Fredriksson had held a couple of days earlier. What? Oh, Danish Prime Minister. Sorry, I got myself lost there. Solberg held a dedicated press conference so no adults were allowed. Oh, goody. Oh, fucking brilliant. Who's locking the kids in just as a matter of interest? Don't deal with the fucking adults, the ones who are responsible. No, talk to the fucking kiddies. I don't know the general empathy. Get fucked. Just get fucked. This is not talking to the right people to get the job done. The kids don't go home and direct the adults in what to do with their fucking lives. It's meant to be the adults telling the kids how to behave and direct their lives. You put this up as a good example of women in charge? For fuck's sake. Alright, I'm going to have a look here. What's this? CEO. Oh, this is the person who wrote it, the idiot who wrote this. I'm a CEO of 21st, a global gender balance consultancy. Oh, yes. As long as that balance is women, I'm guessing. I work with C-suite teams to achieve real gender balance by reframing the issue on leadership, culture, and... Oh, reframing. So you're a liar. Your job is to lie. Your job is to create this concept that women, because that's where your gender balance consultancy is about, isn't it? It's about women. So your job is to lie and put women at the forefront. Now, women are not at the forefront. You've managed to dig us up 7 women of the how many nations of the world. You would have been better off to say white people or yellow people are doing these things, because Africa seems to be having a real problem getting this under control. So you could have just as well been racist, right? Rather than sexist. In fact, being racist might have been closer to the truth than being sexist as you have been. Right, I've got nothing else to add to this. This is the sort of shit that's coming up in the media. For those of you who thought that the social justice twerps were fucking shutting down and shutting up, nope. This is what they present. Even at a time of crisis, we're trying to put out the political message that we all need women in charge. What a load of fucking bullshit. We need strong, willing to act people. And only one of these 3 was that sort of person from word go. And that was Taiwan's leader. Full credit to her. Okay, that's it. I'm the anti-theocrat. May your gods remain fictional, and I will see you in the next one.